The Nipah virus is once again in the news after the death of a 12-year-old boy in Kozhikode on September 5, 2021. This is the third time that Kerala has detected Nipah after 2018. The situation puts significant pressure on Kerala and neighbouring states due to fear of the outbreak of another disease amid the COVID-19 pandemic. We break down what happens if you get Nipah and how it's different from COVID-19 despite some overlapping symptoms. The symptoms common to both Nipah and COVID-19 are sore throat, headache, fever and respiratory issues like breathing difficulties. However, Nipah progresses a lot more quickly and has more neurological symptoms such as acute encephalitis syndrome, which is inflammation of the brain. Dr. Suresh, who heads the department that treated the 12-year-old Nipah victim in Kerala, explains the other differences.
But in Nipah, they usually come with a very rapidly progressive disease, like with fever. For example, in our case, the child presented with fever, vomiting, became drowsy, irritable, then developed convulsions. And along with that, the child developed cardiac manifestations as well as respiratory symptoms. And later went into ARDS, acute respiratory distress syndrome, for which the child was ventilated.
Another major difference between Nipah and COVID-19 is that while Nipah has a higher mortality, it is less infectious. Nipah has also only been detected in smaller pockets, such as in Malaysia in 1999, in Bangladesh in 2001, apart from India where it was detected in West Bengal in 2001. In Kerala, it has been detected thrice so far. Once in 2018 where 17 people died, once in 2019 where only one person was infected and recovered, and now in 2021. Both Nipah and COVID-19 can be detected using an RT-PCR test, which is meant to identify that particular disease.
And without any epidemiological link, we need not worry much about Nipah virus disease, because usually Nipah virus disease means it's a very fatal disease, unlike COVID. Very fatal disease, but the transmission possibility is comparatively less. So we need not worry about Nipah in all cases of fever and respiratory symptoms. And as a protocol, both COVID and Nipah, we need to take all the precautions, almost same precautions, like we have to wear a mask. That is the norm nowadays in healthcare settings especially. There is no compromise on wearing mask, and hand hygiene is also very important. And these are the precautions which are most important for Nipah as well. For example, Nipah, we need more of hand hygiene than the respiratory protection.
While Nipah is a zoonotic virus, the origins of SARS-CoV-2, which causes COVID-19, are not yet known. The natural carriers of Nipah are a type of fruit bat, colloquially known as flying foxes, which are found across South Asia. Nipah can affect both domestic animals and humans can contract it from another person who's infected or from consuming food such as fruits eaten by a virus-carrying animal.
But unlike COVID, it is from, even though it is spreading from body secretions coming in contact with our mucosa, it is not an airborne virus, unlike COVID. But unless we do procedures in Nipah patient, respiratory secretions are produced or aerosol generating procedures are done in Nipah patient. Unless it is not done, it will not spread through the respiratory or air through the air. Very unlikely to spread. But in the first epidemic, that is in 2018, what happened was that a particular patient who gave Nipah to others actually had severe vomiting, and body secretions were contaminating others. So that's what happened in 2018. That's how people got infection from that particular patient. And it is basically inside the house, the disease spread maximum. Inside the house, close relatives who are coming into contact with the body secretions of the patient.
Unlike COVID-19, there is no approved vaccine available yet for Nipah. Only supportive treatments are available for Nipah using antiviral medication used to treat other diseases as well.
So Nipah, it has got no specific antiviral disease, but certain antivirals are being tried, like ribavirin, remdesivir. Many drugs are being tried. And there are monoclonal antibodies also tried, but these are not the specific treatment against Nipah. So these are all supportive treatment, which are actually, these are the medicines which are being used for other conditions also, but given in Nipah as a trial.
Despite different drugs and treatments, the mortality remains quite high for Nipah. The Centers for Disease Control found that 40 to 70% of cases documented between 1998 and 2018 resulted in death. Here are some of the precautions you can take to protect yourself against the Nipah virus.
In any infection, like any viral infection or bacterial infection, to avoid the spread, we should be very careful in hygienic practices, as we do hand washing and sanitizing and wear mask. But there is one more aspect in Nipah, because most of the time Nipah initial case starts with bat-eaten fruits partially eaten by bats and consumed by children or adults, and it can spread infection. That is one possibility which is being postulated most of the time. So here in this scenario also, we should make sure that if you eat a fruit, it should be intact, and children should eat fruit only after showing it to adults. So that's a very important thing.
Apart from these precautions, remember to seek medical advice and help as soon as you start experiencing any of these symptoms to prevent the condition from worsening. This is Geetika Mantri for the News Minute.